Hello and welcome to another one of my little videos on YouTube. If you've looked at the title, you'll know that this is another one about motorcycles. Obviously I'm on a motorcycle. So my last video of any real substance was talking about my recently acquired Kawasaki ER5, a 20-year-old bike that was in impeccable condition and was actually just a really nice machine. Fast forward 6, 9, I can't remember how many months it is since I did that video. Several months, shall we say. And here I am, but I'm on a different bike, as you can see from the thumbnail, the title of this video, and also what your eyes are looking at right now. This is a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I thought I'd come out, do a little bit of a ride and also talk about it just like I did in my ER5 video. I didn't expect that it would be this busy. It's a Monday afternoon and I thought everybody would be at work, but clearly it's like Oxford Circus everywhere at the moment, so not really sure why that is, but we'll try and make the best of it. Heading towards the New Forest, probably a mistake on my part, just because of how busy it always is regardless of the day of the week. Just noticing in my right hand wing mirror that there is a person trying his best to tailgate me. I refuse to go over the speed limit. Okay, what was I talking about? Yes, this is a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I recently acquired this bike as a sort of an early 40th birthday present to myself. I'm 40 years old this year, and I decided that I wanted something a bit newer than the Kawasaki. There's nothing wrong with the Kawasaki. It was a great bike. Didn't really have a lot of oomph because obviously it was a 500cc, but it did the job, and as I said in that other video, it was in great condition for the age. So yeah, I sold that to a gentleman who wanted to use it as the basis for a almost like a flat tracker or something, or a mod they wanted to do with it. Very nice chap. He was very happy with it, and then I went and bought the Interceptor. This is a used bike. It's a 2021 model. As I did in my other video, at some point I will get off the bike and show it you on the other camera, but this isn't a review. Please bear that in mind. This is just my rambling thoughts really about this bike. So this is a 2021 model. It's had the recall done. Apparently there was a recall on the rear brake calipers for these bikes last year because they were sticking, so that's been done by the dealer. It had 1,660 miles on the clock when I bought it, so fairly new, and also it had been running a little bit, and also the previous owner has spent quite a lot of money adding bells and whistles to it. Not literal bells and whistles obviously, but some of the official Royal Enfield gizmos that you can have added as aftermarket options. So thank you to that person, whoever they were. It means I don't have to spend any more money on it. I have spent £10. I bought some guards for the forks, just because this one doesn't have gaiters on it. So I bought some guards for the forks just to stop stones flicking up and chipping those forks, because obviously that can be horrendous for your fork seals. They were like £10 from Sports Bike Shop. Otherwise, this bike is pretty much stock. Other than I say stock, it's got official Royal Enfield extras on it, again, which I'll show you shortly. It's also got these rather nice, I don't know if you can see them on this camera, it's got the Daytona heated grips, which are a bit of a lifesaver, especially this time of year. I've never had Daytona grips before on a bike. I've always had like Oxford ones, which have the little box that you mount on your handlebars, and you can control them using that little box for the temperature, etc. These Daytona ones have a very discreet button just built into the handle grip, and you wouldn't even know they were heated grips if you didn't know they were there. So I'm really happy with those, and again, I know extra cost to me because it was all included in the price of the bike, which is very reasonable. So yeah, here we are riding. The bike as a ride is superb. The general consensus on the internet, on YouTube and on the websites that review these bikes is that they are really cool, really good, and very, built to a very high standard. Obviously not to the standard of something like a Triumph, but I am very happy with it. The vibrations are virtually non-existent, even at high speed. The mirrors are extremely stable. You probably can't tell in this video, but they are, you can see everything in the mirrors behind you. One of the issues I had with my Kawasaki ER5 was the fact that at high speed the mirrors would vibrate, so they were practically useless even. I'm doing 50 miles an hour now, and you can see that, hopefully you can see the mirrors are extremely stable, no vibrations whatsoever. Likewise with the just with the bike in general, super smooth. Obviously it's quite windy, and I've closed the vents on the front of my bike, on the front of my helmet even. There are no vents on the front of the bike. I've closed the vents on the front of the helmet to stop the wind noise as much as I can on the microphone. But yeah, so here we are approaching the gateway to the New Forest now. So yeah, I'm very happy with it so far, and at some point in the next few seconds I will be off the bike and be giving you a little look at it, a little walk around, and giving some more of my thoughts on it. That's a very nice helmet. Yes, I do like the odd comedy helmet. I saw someone with one the other day that was like a Pikachu, a Pokemon Pikachu head, which was not my cup of tea, but each their own. Right, that's enough waffle from me now. What will follow is some footage of me just riding the bike, and then hopefully some of me next to the bike showing you the things that have been put on it. See you shortly. Hello, so this is me off the bike, and that's the bike in the background, so I'll spin the camera around and we can have a look at it. Okay, so this is the Interceptor 650. As I said in the earlier part of this video, the previous owner has put some things on this that I didn't put on. Some of them are a little bit pointless, but hey ho. The first thing is this foam roller thing that is about £30 on the Royal Enfield website. I'm not sure why anyone would buy that, but it looks nice, I suppose. Down here we have these crash bars, again put on by the previous owner. Very helpful, and will protect the bike if I do drop it. And then likewise under here you've got the optional belly pan, which just protects the bike underneath from dirt and rubbish from the road. The one thing I have put on are these, as I said earlier, £10 from Sports Bike Shop. Worth a purchase if you haven't got gaiters on, just because it protects these parts of the bike, the forks. If you get chips and stuff on there, then it can rip your fork seals, so worth a purchase. Yeah, just a general walk around the bike. One thing I did notice on mine is that this part of the bike is missing. Don't know if anyone watching this knows why. Is that an additional extra? I've noticed that on other ones there's a sort of a rubber piece that comes down here. On this one it isn't here. I've asked the Royal Enfield garage locally if they can source one for me, and they're looking into it, but as of now it hasn't arrived, and I just wondered if that is standard or if it's an extra piece that you're meant to buy separately. I don't know. Around here we have the other side of the engine. So this engine casing is weird. Some of them I've seen are really highly polished. This one seems to be quite dull, and I'm not sure why that is, but another bike going past there, CBR. Yeah, again it must just be a style. The top of the engine here as well, the rocker cover is quite dull. It's not shiny like polished chrome. It's quite sort of not matte, but not super shiny like the exhaust pipe downpipes are. There's the Interceptor logo. Pipes at the back, the standard ones. Seat is the standard one, and everything else is pretty much factory, and that's how I intend to keep it. Yeah, these are the These are the heated grips I was talking about, the Daytonas. Worth a purchase if you have the option. And yeah, so that's the bike, and I think it's great. Right, more footage of me riding it now. This is one of the things you have to watch out for in the New Forest. You've got these wild ponies just marauding all over the road, and they don't give a damn. Quite rightly too. They just wander around as they see fit, but it's worth just slowing down as you go past them, because the last thing you want to do is get destroyed by the rear end of a wild donkey or a horse, or whatever they are. Pony, I think they are. See, this one's just walking across the road, doesn't give a toss. But yeah, this is a very, very beautiful part of the world, the New Forest. I don't get out here as much as I'd like to, and generally when I do come out, it's at a weekend, so it's extremely busy with traffic. But when it's a weekday, it can be quite nice, quite quiet. Unlike that bit earlier on that you saw, where it was like, as I said, Oxford Circus. Okay, so another thing that I bought to go along with the bike is this. It's a helmet, obviously. It's in the same colour as the bike's tank. It's called Crush Orange. And as you can see, it's an open face helmet with a sort of a bubble effect visor on the front. It's got the Royal Enfield logo here on the front. And it's also got the logo on the back, along with this goggle retaining strap. It does have all the markings, so the dot markings, for safety. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, to be honest. Obviously it looks quite nice. One thing I didn't realise before I bought it is that, or rather I only realised after I bought it, is that the visor mechanism can only be removed using these screws here on the front. So there's 3 screws that hold it in place. It doesn't have a sun visor. I assumed when I saw this on the internet that it would be removable and would be able to be interchanged with things like a peak, and that it would have some way of fitting like a visor to it, a sun visor to it, but that's not the case. You basically get this bubble effect visor at the front, and that's it. It is a removable lining, and it is quite comfortable. It's got all the Royal Enfield logos and stuff inside. I don't know if you can see that with the lighting on this camera. And it's also got this sort of quick release mechanism underneath the chin strap. Like I say, it looks nice. I'm sure it meets all the safety requirements. You can see there as well. It's got the other markings on the side. One thing that I'm not particularly keen on with this is that these press studs here, they're not actually press studs. It's permanently stuck to this, almost like this brace that's connected to the top of the helmet. And these things rattle in the wind. So it looks nice, and I'm sure it's functional and it's as safe as you can expect an open face helmet to be. But yeah, I'm not sure. These things are especially annoying, especially at high speed, because you can hear them rattling away. Initially I thought it was it sounded like Velcro being unstuck, but it turned out to be these press studs rattling in the wind, so not overly impressed by that. But as I say, it looks nice, and when the summer comes and I can wear this in nice weather, I'm sure it'll look the part as well. So yeah, do your research if you're going to buy one of these helmets. There's a whole array of Royal Enfield helmets, and this one is obviously the Crush Orange one, so just be aware of those things that I have pointed out. Okay, back to more of me riding the bike. I know that some quite big YouTubers have done videos on these bikes and have been extolling the virtues of them. People like Stuart Fillingham. I know he's a big fan of the Interceptor, and also the Missenden Flyer. Like I say, this isn't really a review. This is just my own real, just musings really on this bike since I've owned it. I've owned it for about 3 weeks. And in that time I've probably done about 1,000 miles on it, which actually seems quite a lot now I think about it. But yeah, it's fabulous, really. It's just so smooth. It's the newest bike I've ever owned. Most of the bikes I've owned in the past have been 10 years old plus. So yeah, this is the newest bike I've owned, and I'm very happy with it. Anyway, that's the Royal Enfield Interceptor. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Interceptor if you've got one. You could think it's a pile of crap. I don't, but I'm always interested to hear what other people think about bikes and things like that in general. So yeah, put a comment down below and let me know what you think. Right, I'm going to slow down here just before I finish this video because that pony does not give a damn. This one's having a think. And there's one here in the middle of the road. They can just appear out of nowhere in the middle of the road. It's just can be a bit scary at times. Look at these two down here. This one's just walking down the middle of the road, doesn't give a fuck. Sorry, excuse my language, doesn't give a toss.